Well, very quickly, that's what we're looking at today. Specifically, we're starting off with what you saw there, what many would want to call collateral damage. For some others, they think is a misfiring. Joining us from our Abuja studios is retired Group Captain Sadeeq Shehu. He is the Regional Program Manager at Lake Chad and Center for Civilians in Conflict. He's also the former Nigerian Air Force spokesperson. He's a peace and security expert, counter-terrorism expert, air power expert, and a lot more. Good to have you join us this morning, Group Captain Sadeeq Shehu. Good morning. Very quickly, take us through the aspect of surveillance when it has to do with issues of what we noticed. First, because for many, they still think that that is a mistake, a costly one at that, while some others, they think that that was deliberately, the bomb was deliberately dropped on them. Being an air pilot, again, who's seen a whole lot there up in the sky, take us through what this means for us.
Well, thank you very much, Suleiman, for having me. First, let me say that the issue of collateral damage or civilian harm is an international concern. It happens to almost all armed forces. It is an unfortunate outcome of war, given that war is often described with having the fog of war. The fog of war here means that the commander can never have the complete information. The information may be contradictory. Different information might be coming from different sources. And again, based on that, the commander also has to move quickly, sometimes to seize an opportunity that might be seized. However, the protection of civilians is at the heart of the profession of arms. All militaries, all professional militaries try as much as possible to see that they take feasible precautions to avoid collateral damage on not only civilians, but also civilian objects. This is founded on international humanitarian law, international human rights law, and also on the basis of humanity itself. So I would not subscribe to the idea that bombs were dropped deliberately. However, mistakes do happen, and when mistakes happen, what do? You look at your procedures, you look at the policies and the guidance documents you have, and then, if possible, you might make changes to your procedures. There are many tools that can be used, both in the planning, execution, and even after the operation, which can minimize, if not eliminate, issues like this. That is the issues of collateral damage. It's an unfortunate thing, it happens, but there are things that can be done.
Now, before we start talking about things that can be done, take us through what happens. You talked about the foggy nature of information that may not even get really clear to the commander when we are in a state of war. But how foggy can it be being maybe a fighter pilot up there in the sky, so that your precision is really on a high percentage?
Now, when you are looking about air-to-land operation, you are thinking of a combined operation. But here, by combined or joint operation. Combined, that means the force commander might be relating with forces from other countries. It might be joint because it involves, like in this case, the army on the ground and the air force in the air. Now you can see that there could be problems of communication. There are also other elements like the weather. What was the visibility? You know, all these kind of things are some of the challenges that such an operation entails. So the fog of war here, I am saying, the operator in the air depends on information that is passed to him from the ground. The person passing the information for the ground relies on information he receives either from military or non-military sources. The nature of war is that such information, I might receive an information that is correct, as at this time. 10 minutes afterwards, this information might have changed, a target might have moved, what I want to strike might not be there. So this is what I'm talking about, the foggy nature of war. So no information is ever complete. Again, the target about to be hit might be a target that it has taken many hours to locate and to localize. Now this is a fleeting opportunity for the commander. All that notwithstanding, the commander is expected to make a good sense and good faith judgment based on the information he receives. Where there is doubt, sometimes it is better to assume that an object is a civilian object and then call off the attack. However, there is no hard and fast rule. It's not really a scientific thing of 2 + 2 is 4. It takes a lot of judgment from the commander. And sometimes, as we see in this case, errors can be made. That is what I have to say on that.
But staying with the issue of the pilot and information given to him, when coordinates are given to a pilot, just help us clarify this. When coordinates are given to a pilot, is it up to the pilot to change to another area if he hasn't got any other command, or he has to follow through on those coordinates?
Can you hear me? Because I'm losing you at the background.
Yes, I can hear you. So let me ask the question again. When coordinates are
okay. In an ideal situation, the pilot in the air will be given coordinates. Depending on the aircraft, that is the sophistication of the aircraft, there are aircrafts that have their own navigation systems. There are also munitions into which such coordinates given can be fed, and then the weapon system can guide itself onto target. I will not prejudge the inquiries that are being made, as I do not have details of the aircraft and what the capability and what type of munition was used to attack. But as you said, the coordinates of a target to be hit will be given to the pilot. And throughout, in an ideal situation, there should be contact between the ground and the pilot in the air. Up to the last minute of the release of the weapon, in an ideal situation, there should be control and the pilot should be getting clearance all the way down until weapon release. That is how it should be. Like I said, in this situation in particular we're talking about is under investigation, so we have to be careful not to prejudge what the inquiries will find. But this is not the first time we're hearing of collateral damage, so we have other elements that we can look. Now let me use a well-known particular case that has happened and has been resolved, which I think is easier. On the 13th or 3rd of October 2015, a U.S. C-130 gunship bombed a hospital run by the Medicine Sans Frontières in Kunduz, Afghanistan. Now, what the investigation revealed for that time, just to lay emphasis on what we are talking about, the coordinates of that trauma center were already given to the American military and the Afghan military. So the coordinates were located in what is called a no-hit list. What does mean a no-hit list? You are operating in an area, you are supposed to get the coordinates of places like markets, hospitals, all places that are civilian targets or civilian use facilities. And then there will be a target list. Under that target list, you have this no strike facility or no strike elements or no hit list. That means these are areas that have been identified that hitting them has a great risk of causing civilian casualty. Now, in the case of the Kunduz attacks, just to give us an idea, the coordinates of that hospital were known. However, the pilot in carrying the vision, his navigation equipment showed him that those coordinates was an empty area. Now, the mistake made by the pilot was that instead of believing what his equipment said, they decided to look for any other facility that was located near those specific coordinates. Unfortunately, it happened to be that trauma center, and they released their weapons. So here you can see that you might say also in that incident, there supposed to have been a video link. I don't know whether we have that in the Nigerian aircraft. There's supposed to be a video link that is showing live what the pilot is saying. And based on that,